It's not the size, but the position. So we don't need like residual growth.
Yes.
Don't you think that these two components are not independent and the position also has an influence on the size and it blocks the growth? So sometimes we need surgery and we cannot just move the mandibula forward.
It's a very good question. Now, the question is, the regional remodeling of TMJ, we do have some apposition of new bone, but that amount of the bone is not much enough to have an addition of the size of the mandible, the one thing. And another thing is that the supporting is that the remodeling, supporting by the remodeling TMJ is not enough or not.
Yeah, it's not enough. And the sagittal size of the mandibula depends on its position also.
Yeah.
And when the growth ends, we cannot
Now, the size and the shape or morphology of the mandible is depends on everything. It's only determined mostly by genetic factors. We can't modify the size and the shape of the mandible too much. That's one thing. It's only predetermined by its genetic factors, elements, right? No matter how hard you work on the like restraining the size of the mandible in the class 3 scenario, there's no way that we can restrain the size of the mandible. And in the class 2 will be quite similar. Okay, for the 3-gap malposition, the good news is that they are always having a favorable morphology of mandible and favorable size of mandible. No matter, and regardless you are doing the mandibular repositioning or not. If you have a group of the patient that have a treated mandible, without any treatment of the repositioning of the mandible, they are also grow in the way that they're supposed to grow, right? There's no way that can interfere the growth or the size of the mandible, regardless you're moving the forward or not moving the forward. They grow as the way they should be growing, right? Now, if you move the mandible forward, you'll have a relief of the space in the TMJ, make it possible for the remodeling of the components of the TMJ, but not adding the size of the mandible, right? There's no need for the addition of the size of the mandible anyway. But for the surgery, it's also not we get into the deep approach. Right? The surgical correction of 3-gap malposition, I don't think is indicated because they have a cut of the bone and make it overgently correct by here and then be together, make it the mandible a little bit longer than it should be. And sustainably, it's not sustainable. There's lots of relapse with the 3-gap malposition surgical correction. And anyway, who will be responsible for the pre and post orthodontic treatment? You have to flatten the curve speed, right? Without position of the change of the mandible, how can you flatten the speed? Now, if without the flattening of the curve speed, the patient will be having endurance and more cuts because there's no way that you can flatten the curve speed. Now, before the flattening of the curve speed, you send the patient to surgery, how could they do? It's a huge separate the patient, lots of cuts, right? And not sustainable, right? Because there's no changing of the remodeling of the TMJ. TMJ that makes the impact without any change. This is my thought. I think the good news for the unless at least for the patients who are not willing to have the surgical intervention, it's too much harm, too much pain, right? Now for that group of the patient, you can try. I'm not saying try. You can treat them with this conservative, safe, and also efficient approach by the SGTB. We have a huge number of patients who have been so successful. There's no any sign of relapse. There's quite stable. Patient will be very comfortable with the appearance, not only the change of the malposition, also the change of facial appearance, which is quite similar to the surgical effects. Okay, thank you for your question.
Thanks.
Yeah, we can have some more discussion.